I am Luis FERREIRO. I'm the director of Musealia. We are a Spanish company creating exhibitions that are touring the world and being displayed in different museums and exhibition centers. We have right now 5 exhibitions actually. One is of course the Berlin Wall, A World Divided, which is currently being displayed in Paris at the City of Architecture. We have Auschwitz, not long ago, not far away, which is right now at the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, Canada. And we have 2 exhibitions about Titanic, about the story from a human side of Titanic. One is in Sydney in Australia, and the other one is in Quebec in Canada, Quebec City at the Museum of Civilization. We are always interested in stories that somehow are specific about one particular event in time and in space, but actually explains a universal message, lesson, or open a universal question about the human being. I was actually in Berlin walking through Bernauer Strasse and reading at the same time a small speech by Isaiah Berlin, a philosopher from the 20th century, and it was called Message to the 21st Century. And Berlin was speaking actually about this notion that the most dangerous idea, the one that created all that death in the 20th century, was not evil or hatred, but actually the power of ideologies and how you can justify the killing and the lack of freedom by trying to create a heaven on earth. So I was very impacted by this notion of the most dangerous idea. And I ended up walking on Bernauer Strasse and looking into these pieces of the wall and, of course, thinking of this message to the 21st century. And I just began to think, okay, what is the message that these pieces of the wall has from a construction from the 20th century has for us, citizens of the 21st century? So, I started to listen to the wall and to its message, and that's how the project began. It's a co-production. It's done in association with the Berlin Wall Foundation, which is the public institution in Germany dealing with the remains of the wall and with the memory of the victims. And we had the privilege to work with a number of historians, experts, curators in the making of the exhibition, and of course also the Berlin Wall Foundation, which was providing us with the authenticity of these artifacts, of the pieces of the wall. It's a unique opportunity to see more than 250 original artifacts never displayed before in France, that range from the original pieces of the wall, and this can be seen outside of the museum at Trocadero. These are 3.65 meters tall, 2.5 tons each, and they represent, of course, this notion of division within a city, a country, continent, and actually the entire world. So they go from very big, powerful artifacts to small rings, letters, knives that people use, the items that people took with them when they were trying to escape from East Germany, from East Berlin to West Berlin, and to also artifacts that help us understand the nature of division within the city of Berlin. This appeal of trying to conquer the minds and the hearts of Berliners from both sides. And we have also, of course, artifacts that speak about the wider context. So we have more than 20 international museums loaning artifacts, from Hiroshima Peace Museum in Japan to private collections in the US, that help us understand, to bring down this sort of complex history of our last century into the human level. And we complement this with testimonies, with original testimonies from people that were living in Berlin on both sides, that explained us what actually it was for them to live in a divided city. We are not trying to bring a particular message to our visitors. We are trying to give them a tool to understand what happened in our continent and in our world in the past century, basically from 45 to 81, to understand the Cold War. So we are not trying to easily moralize people, but we try to go into the grace of human nature, to understand the quest of freedom and quality of life, and at the same time to understand the political visions, the ideologies that brought so much history into the 20th century. So it's a reflection about democracy, about authoritarianism, about borders, about quality of life, about human rights. And I hope it's the visitor who needs to make up their mind. We are presenting the facts with the authenticity of the artifacts and the power of the original testimonies, and we leave it up to the visitor to make their own conclusion, reflection about the story that we explain.